Hi everybody, welcome to Frostburg State University. My name is Dr. Michael Flynn. I am professor and chair of the Department of Computer Science and Information Technologies here at Frostburg State University. I have been an advisor for a very long time, and I'm here to show you in this particular video what the undergraduate or graduate catalog is, what the general education program is, how to find things like different courses you need to take for your major, and how to figure out if you will earn credit for an AP, BI, or other class like CLEPS. I'm also going to cover where to find your 8-semester plans and what those look like. As I am a professor and chair of computer science, I'm probably going to use computer science as a reference point, our major or one of our majors. However, just translate this into your major. So what I want to show you here is Frostburg's website. So let's go to www.frostburg.edu. For these particular items, we want to look right here at the Academics Program tab, and we're going to click the drop down. Now remember, we can always search for things over here like catalogs, 8-semester plans, AP or BI credits, things of that nature. It is very customized to our website, so it does a very good job. But you can also come to the academic programs and get used to all of this. We're specifically going to first start with the catalogs. So your catalogs are your requirements for graduating from this particular institute. Remember, you have 3 major requirements. You have to earn 120 credits to graduate from Frostburg State University, minimum. You have to complete the general education courses, and you have to complete your major courses. So how do you know what those are? What are those expectations? Well, your catalog tells you all of the policies and procedures, including what happens when you get on academic probation, what different GPAs are, but we're also going to find in here the general education program. So over on the left, we're going to click on General Education Program, or you can search for something in the catalog, not to be confused with this search. It's got to be in this search under Academic Catalogs. We can click on the General Education Program, and here it's going to explain the basics. What the core skills are, what the liberal knowledge are, what the values, so on and so forth. Want to see what this looks like as far as classes you have to take? You're going to click on that red up at the top where it says General Ed Program, GEP. We refer to it as GEP. And we start scrolling down through here, and we're going to see the different requirements. I am going to take a minute and explain each of these because there is sometimes confusion within these. Keep in mind that while we can double dip across a major and the GEP, we can never double dip on courses within the general education program or within the major. And when I say double dip, that means that making one class, for example, English 338 in our case, count in both the GEP and the major. That is okay. However, in the case of social science, we have human geography listed in both the social science and it's listed in the group F, identity and difference. You cannot double dip in this particular area in the GEP. All right, so let's kind of go through this. So your core skills, you have 9 to 10 credits that are required in your core skills. Everybody by federal law is required to take English 101 and their math within their freshman year. Freshman composition is it. Oftentimes students will take an AP exam on that or have it transferred in, but a lot of you are going to need that. The other class that you're going to need in English is in advanced writing. Oftentimes this is dictated by the major. In our case, and all of our computing majors, computer science, information technology, computer information systems, cybersecurity and information assurance, you have to take technical writing. Please look at your major to see which advanced writing your major wants you to take and make sure that you do that. Then you also have to have a minimum math. Every single student graduating from Frostburg State University must have a minimum math achieved to be able to graduate from Frostburg. And here's your different listing. Sometimes that is dictated by your major as well. All right. In the core requirements, you must earn a C or better, and this is the only place that a continued studies may be asked for should you run into any challenges within the class. From here, we have different modes of inquiry. So we have group A through F, and I'm going to go over each one carefully. So in this case, fine arts and performing arts, it's a mode of inquiry A. It requires you to take 3 credits, and then it gives you a list of all of the different possibilities within this particular mode. Notice over here on the right, it tells you how many credits it is worth. In pause, instead of listing it as credits, sometimes it says 1 course or 2 courses or 3 courses. So keep in mind that generally speaking, 1 course is 3 or 4 credits. All right. So kind of translate that in your mind. So in this particular case, you need to take 1 fine arts or performing arts. In the humanities, you have to take 2 classes or 6 credits. And then notice how these are broken out. So you have history, you have a language, you have a literature that you could choose from, you have some philosophy that you could choose from, and you have a communications that you could choose from. It's important to remember this when we get down into some of the nuances of Group E, because it's going to say IDIS 350 or an additional course from a mode of inquiry groups A through D. What that means when we get there, and I'll go over it again when we get there, if you take history and you take English and you want to count something down there in Group D, you can't take a History 111 or another one in the English. You have to take like a Spanish or a French or a philosophy, something that is unique out of this group. That's that double dipping thing, right? In the natural sciences, everybody has to take 7 to 8 credits. This is one of those areas that you really want to refer to your major to see if you can double dip across. For example, our computer science, you have a prescribed set of sciences that you must take, and it overlaps with like biology 1, chemistry 201, physical geography, and physics 261. So refer to your major to see if there's any overlap that you can get out of any of these classes that I'm talking about. All right. So in this case, 7 to 8 credits. That means it's 2 classes, because remember, classes are either 3, like we see down here, or 4 credits. This is a bad example because these actually go together, right? So kind of keep that in mind. They're supposed to be linked. Okay. But down here, here's the IDIS 160. That is 3 credits. So that's 1 class. Then we have to take 2 science classes, social science classes. So for these social science classes, you can take your econ, something out of the human geography side of things, political science, psychology, or sociology. I'm not getting into, as you can tell, all the nuances of the different areas, but I encourage you to think of the general education this way. In the future, you don't know what you're going to be doing. So the more well-rounded you can make yourself now, the more you're going to be able to convey your ideas, articulate your knowledge to another individual with your content knowledge from your major as well. It's going to help you to be able to relate to a lot of different people, a lot of different potential clients. So kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Now we're going to get into Group E, the FSU colloquia. Everybody, when you come in, should be in the first year in the IDIS 150 class. That one's pretty straightforward, but sometimes even my transfers, you come in and you don't get this. So we got to get you put into a FSU colloquium, the IDIS 150, as soon as we can. Now, here's one of those nuances. If we look here at the IDIS 350, right? So complete one of the following, IDIS 350. Notice that it says that, but then right underneath of it, because a lot of people stop reading right here, right underneath that, it says, or 1 additional mode of inquiry course from groups A through D. So I already went over this once. I'm going to go over it again. You could take IDIS 350, or you could take one additional mode of inquiry. So I'm just going to scroll back up to the social sciences. Let's say that you took an econ class, a human geography class, and you're like, well, I want to fulfill this IDIS 350 with an additional mode of inquiry from the social sciences. If you took those two, you can't take another course out of those particular subsets, but you could take a political science, a psychology, or a sociology. Always remember, we cannot double dip within any of the three major requirements to graduate from Frostburg. 120 credits, fulfill the GEP, and fulfill your major. And the reason I bring that up is the last thing that we need to talk about within the general education program is the identity and difference, the Group F. And in the Group F, it requires three credits or one class. And you're going to find in here that there's some overlap. Here's human geography. There's a political science in here as well. Now remember, we can't double dip, so we have to take a unique class to satisfy this particular requirement as well. Okay, so that's an overview of the general education program. And the next thing that I would like to do before I go into the 8-semester plans is I want to talk about if you have AP or IB or CLEPS. How do you know what that is? So in here, it's kind of weird where it is, but we're going to click on policies. And when we get into policies in this catalog, here is credit by exam and other non-traditional learning. So if we click on this, we're going to immediately see that Frostburg State University accepts the advanced placement, CLEPS, internet, that's the IB, and a variety of other things based on maybe articulated credit or MOUs, that's mutual understandings, right? So a lot of different things that we can look at there. So let's come into credit by exam and give an example. I took AP Calc A and I scored a 4 on it. Will I receive credit at Frostburg State University, right? So you come right into advanced placement examinations. We scroll down until we find Calculus AB, right? I said A minute ago, but I really didn't mean AB. And if we look here, we can see that if I scored a 4, which is what I said, I will be awarded the equivalent of Math 236, which is Calculus 1. Well, I also took Calculus BC, right? Oh, and what grade did you get on that? I got a 4. Oh, okay, great. Well, here's the deal. If you took a 4 for Calculus BC, we're going to give you Calculus 1 and Calculus 2. Well, what if I got a 3 on the BC? Okay, well done, but you need a little bit more knowledge, so we're going to give you Calculus 1. You need to take Calculus 2 just as soon as you possibly can. All right? So keep this in mind as you're moving forward, and you need to look some things up. What am I going to get? What grade do I need to get on my AP exam or my IB exam to earn college credit? By the way, this is different for different institutes. There's some standardization in there. But in general, if you look at, where you were, let's say you transfer from another institute, and you come here and you want to know, okay, are they going to count my art history? Most likely, if they accepted it there, we will accept it here. But it is an AP, so we don't have to. You have to resend from the College Board your AP scores to Frostburg State University. Okay. So with all that being said, now we have a good general idea of what are all the classes that we need to have, right? So that was in the GEP for the general ed. And we also have a good idea of what credit by exams. Well, what about my major? Okay, well, one of the things I suggest you do is to use bookmarks. So notice how I have all of our different majors bookmarked here. But you can also just kind of come in and say, I want to know about computer science. What are all of the required courses for computer science? So we click on this, and not only is it going to tell you our mission statement and program information and our objectives and outcomes, but it's going to go into what are the required courses to graduate with a bachelor's of science in computer science. And I'm going to quickly go through this. I encourage everybody to watch this and then translate it to whatever your particular major is. Right out of the gate, we tell you what our core courses are. You have to take the following, complete the following. It's worth 26 credits. So remember, we're adding up to 120. We had around 40 out of the GEP. There's another 26. Advanced requirements. You must take 18. You must take the following. Want to know what each one of these are? No problem. Come down here and hover over one or even click on it and it'll give you a better analysis or more details as to what it is. And we'll go over the prerequisites in just a few minutes. Then it gets into the other required courses. You have 32 other required courses. You have some math that you have to do. And it says complete the following, complete at least one of the following, complete at least one of the following. So you just kind of read along and you say, all right, so I have to complete Calc 1 and Calc 2. And then I have to complete one of these. And again, this is where the complexities come in, the nuances come in, and this is where advisors can help about if you want to pursue a minor in something, which would be the better statistics to take. But you can see that the statistics, if you went back to your AP, the AP stats class you had in high school actually isn't one of these classes. All right? So keep that in mind. There's different levels of classes for different things. And then complete one of the following. Here's that overlap, right? I told you earlier when we were looking at the GEP, make sure that you take the time and make the effort to look at what kind of overlaps there might be across the GEP to the major. So here it is. You must complete Biology 1 or Chemistry 1 or Physics. And right here it says you got to complete 2 of the following. But then look on down here, it says you got to complete at least one of the following. And that's because you have to do a full sequence. So if you do biology up here and physical geography here, you have to take zoology or botany down here. And then the bonus is any of the classes you take here will count into your GEP. And then finally, in this area, we have other. So here's some other things we think that you must take because it's going to be beneficial. Where does this come from? It's a global consortium of computer science professors that looks at what industry wants. We talk to industry all the time, and we adjust our curriculum based on what are the needs of industry and what are going to give you the appropriate tools and skills and concepts to be successful when you get out in the real world. We don't just make this stuff up. We talk about it at a global level, at least in computer science. But here's one of those overlaps again. Remember I told you some of us have advanced composition requirements, and there's English 338. And then finally for computer science, you got to take 2 electives, 2 course electives, 6 credits, right? Some degrees have additional requirements. For example, in computer science, you must earn a C or better in all courses, okay? And that's going to be specified in program information. Computer science must have a C or better. So keep that in mind as you go through different programs. Just out of curiosity, so you understand that all majors are not created equal, let's look at a mathematics degree and see what that is like. So I'm going to come in to mathematics, major, and you're going to notice that it's substantially smaller. So here's the mathematics. Got to do 43 hours and an additional 6. Our major is a fair amount larger, a lot more classes. So this information gives you the ability to start thinking, how do I want to do a minor? A major is defined around 40 hours or above. A minor is 18 hours, okay? A minimum of 18 hours. So kind of keep that in mind as you move forward, and that'll help you out. The last thing that I want to show you are the 8-semester plans. And there is so much to actually learn in here, but I just want to equip you with the basics so you can begin to plan. All right? And then I'm going to cut this and I'm going to make another, I'm going to make a new clip for you to be able to understand how to use the planner within Pause and to schedule things. So within here, in the academic programs, you kind of look down through here. Here's catalogs, academic calendar, so you know what's going on, library, study abroad, so on and so forth. You want to look at this academic success network. This is going to have a lot of different things in here, a lot of different quick links in here for you, how to get to the tutoring center and so on and so forth. But this is primarily about advising. This is primarily about how do we create our own schedules? How do we be proactive so we can make sure that we hit our time to graduation? So we've already gone through, assuming that you are a first year, and created 8 semester plans of study. Remember, 4 years, 8 semesters. Okay? If you are a transfer student, you may use these plans as guidance, but remember, you're going to have a whole lot of different things that are going to come in, and every student comes in with something different. No two students are alike. So that's why they're called plans, right? That's why they're called plans. It gives you some guidance, but they're never perfect, even for those of you that are coming as first-year students, as freshmen. Even for you, these particular plans are going to vary by what you took in high school and your AP credit or your BI credit or your CLEPS credit or whatever else you got. Think about it. I cannot create all the variations for all the different math levels or all the different sciences that are coming into my major. So we create plans, and they're generalized plans. All right. Everybody has one, all the way down through. All the majors should be in here. If you don't see one, let me know. I'll reach out to that department chair. Or Carr will reach out to that department chair, and we'll help you get one. So computer science, since we're doing computer science, we're going to click on that. And we want to come into computer science right here. If it doesn't say minor, it means that it's the major. I want to click on that. And here is my 8 semester plan. Again, this is making a lot of assumptions. Maybe you don't come in ready to go into Calculus 1, and that's fine, but this gives you a very good basic overview of what classes you should generally take each semester. If you are a transfer student, you just go through and start shuffling these around, checking off different things, because your 8 semester plan is more like a 4 or a 5 semester plan, or maybe it's a 6, depending on how many credits worth of transfer you brought in, right? Or how many semesters worth, all right? So every single major has one of these, and it's going to go like semester 1, semester 2, semester 3, semester 4, semester 5. Let me explain some things within here a little bit, okay? So notice it says GEP Humanities, all right? Well, if we go back over to those modes of inquiry, let's pull that up real quick. There's my Gen Ed. It says humanities. Well, that is a particular group, and that's going to be group B, right? Here's the humanities. GEP humanities. So it means take something out of group B. Keep on going. GEP social science. That's group D. I come down and I look and I'm like, oh, so I got to take one of these. Fall. GEP fine arts and performing arts. That's group A. Over here you see it says group A, group B, group D, right? Identity difference. So that's pretty straightforward. And then we get in here. This is going to be a new one for you. It's called general elective. So a general elective is a class that you take after you've fulfilled all the Gen Ed requirements and all of your major requirements. In computer science, because our major is so big, there's only room for about 12 hours, maybe 16 hours of general electives. I like to recommend people to take a minor in something that's either of interest to you or is going to be beneficial to your future career, right? So for example, in computer science, oftentimes I recommend people take a math minor because it's only 2 more classes. If you're over in psychology, maybe it's beneficial to take a minor in sociology or something like that. I recommend everybody to take more writing classes and more math classes. You just can't get enough of those. I also recommend personal finance classes, maybe some art classes if you enjoy art, like drawing, maybe some mass communication classes if you enjoy media and you like making social media stuff. Maybe you need to learn a little bit more about that. So that's what the general electives are. Specific to my plan, it says computer science, science elective, 1 of 2. Computer science, science elective, 2 of 2. That is specific to my program. So this is the things that you'll learn in the future, but it is specific to my program, and it's referring to those other, whoops, I skipped right past it, those other science requirements right here, 1 and 2. And you'll notice back in that plan, here's 1 and 2, and then somewhere around here, here we go, bio 149 or chem or geography or 261, right? And then, there's some other things in here. Most everything is in alignment. We keep these up to date. So a single star means fall only. It's a fall only class. Make sure you're paying attention to that. That's also going to be listed into pause. When we get into that later, you're going to see that that's listed in pause. All right. It's going to tell you exactly when it's offered. And it's also going to talk about the prerequisites. So while I'm thinking of prerequisites, let me run back out here and click on 310. And 310 is going to say a prerequisite of Math 236 and a grade of C or better in Computer Science 241. Remember I told you a few minutes ago that professors from around the world come together and they think and they analyze and they collect data on what is going to make you successful when you move into your professional career, or you go in and you do research with a master's or a doctorate, right? Well, we do the same thing with our prerequisites. We don't put them in there lightly. We put them in there saying, look, you need to have Computer Science 241 before you can be successful in Computer Science 310. And you really need Calculus 1 to be able to understand some of the concepts that are in here. And also some of the problem-solving skills that comes with Calculus 1 to be able to understand advanced data structures, especially when we start getting to hash tables and things of that nature. Okay? All right. So remember, as we wrap all of this up, when you go to frostburg.edu, academic programs is where you want to start. You're going to click on this. We have catalogs. We looked at that. There is academic calendar. That's going to tell you when things begin and end and when breaks are. And then the Academic Success Network is going to give you all kinds of wonderful things like the 8-semester plan, tutoring offerings, and so on and so forth. I do not have time to go over everything, and I don't think you'd want that. So we're going to stop here. And in the next video, I'm going to go over how to make a plan in pause and then how to use the scheduling assistant in out of pause as well. Okay, so thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, you can certainly email me, or you could reach out to CAR. That's the Center of Academic Advising and Retention. It's a great group of individuals that are professional advisors there to assist you.